My name is Ben.
And I'm Nora.
And welcome to the Too Vague Podcast. One word, two hosts, stories, trivia, and video games. Nora was making hand gestures like she was following the script and was kind of bored of it.
No, I do things like nod my head and all that. It's just so natural.
Do you want to take a crack at doing the one word, two hosts, stories, trivia, and video games?
No.
Okay, fair enough. Leave it to the professionals.
Here it is. It's Ben's podcast. It's too vague.
Yes.
That's my intro.
Okay. This week, we've got Nora in the wonderful Tucson studio, which is also my apartment, with my roommate, Mango.
Yeah, the podcat.
Who has been giving Nora his occasional affection.
I gave him birthday present.
I got him a scratching post, and you got him a nice little chew banana.
Yeah.
Bananas he does not like.
No, but this one has catnip, so...
Yeah, and it doesn't smell like bananas.
No. It's also got little nubs on it, so it's supposed to be good for his teeth
Exactly.
cleaning.
Yeah.
And then I bought him a box of greenies because I know how important it is. We don't want false teeth in that cat.
No. You get made fun of when they come with their false teeth.
Yeah.
You got to take them out and then put them in the little chemical liquids. Cats with false teeth.
Cats with hats, yeah.
Cats with hats, yeah.
But cats with false teeth.
I'm sure someone has made a TikTok video about it.
Yep.
They've got all these AI-generated cat videos when they're doing stuff like working at McDonald's.
Oh, yeah.
This week, we're going to talk about the word vintage, which is inspired by, we've been wanting to do the word retro, but then you brought up an excellent point, which is kind of how there's some overlap. It's in the same conversation wheelhouse.
When I first thought about retro, right away I was thinking, there's vintage, what's the difference? And so we talked about it a little bit.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about it a little bit more here when we get into it. What are you in town for?
To visit my nephew.
Who's your nephew?
Ben.
Yes.
Like email. Ben.
That would be me. And then also you're here for the book fair.
The book
too.
fair, yeah. Book festival or whatever.
The Tucson Festival of Books.
Yes.
The world renowned. One of the things that puts it on the map next to the Gem Show.
The Gem Show, I think, is more important, but that's Nora, who used to make jewelry.
Are you just going to be wandering around looking at authors?
I may look and see if there's any lectures or presentations I might be interested in, but I haven't looked yet. And since it starts, today. Oh, well.
That's pretty on brand for Nora.
Yeah,
I think.
It is.
When you go to these things, so, the nearest equivalent for me is going to Penny Arcade Expo.
Yeah.
It's kind of a similar thing where I can go around and play all the games and talk to the people who are the creators and whatnot. They do also have talks and things of that nature. It just, for me, it's about going and seeing the stuff more than it's about talks. I know that you read a lot.
Yeah, I do.
Do you go there and talk to the authors, or would you rather see their presentations?
Truthfully, I'd rather see lectures, presentations, those kind of things. I did when Susan Luzader, somebody that my sister-in-law and your stepmother Ann helped put out some books. She was there last year, and I went to her booth, started to buy books, but she wouldn't let me. She gave them to me instead.
Oh.
I edited them. I proofread and ended up editing the books.
That's a nice gesture, right?
Yeah, I did a darn good job, too. Just in case anybody needs anything proofread or edited, put my thing in your my email.
Yeah, exactly. Put your contact information or whatever.
Yeah.
Coming from a long line of proofreaders.
This is true. Born to it, yeah.
I guess a sort of a...
short line.
A point of proofreaders.
My mom was a proofreader.
Yeah.
It just comes naturally.
And I think there was I saw a little bit in the paper that she worked at about me when I was born.
Probably.
Yeah, there was
if any paper is going to do that, it's going to be the East Chicago Globe.
Yeah.
Which doesn't exist anymore, so I can plug it.
Exactly. For all those hipsters out there, I guess.
Right.
Kind of adjacent to the word vintage today.
It is.
So I've been playing games.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing. There is a game that I have received a review code for called Glover. It's an old game that came out for the Nintendo 64, 1998. Hasbro was the publisher, and it was developed by Interactive Studios. You play as a glove,
Oh,
hence Glover, and you have a ball. So it's glove and ball. The way the story shows you at the beginning is there's a big wizard who's working on a cauldron and some sort of magic thing happens. He gets disintegrated and his one glove goes into the cauldron and one gets magically separated. So the glove that went into the cauldron becomes evil and the one that goes out of the... So it's a 3D platformer.
okay.
It kind of goes along with our word this week because it is sort of a vintage sort of game.
It is.
Probably the equivalent of, I would say, something that you've got an antique or something, and then you refurbish it. But it's still sort of vintage, right?
It's vintage. It doesn't have anything to do with antique.
But what I'm saying is the vintage is the thing, whether you refurbish it or not.
Is this refurbished in some way?
It's the original code base. It was re-released by a studio called Pico Studios, who basically re-releases the old nostalgic kind of games from the back in the day. What they do is, in some cases, they've got to improve the graphics slightly.
Oh, yeah.
They've got to change the format of the graphics because got
Times
high definition.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And there's some games that when they just have them with high definition without changing it, it's like fuzzy or it's not clear enough. So those are the changes, but it's pretty much the same as it was back in 1998.
Just with updating, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And not really changing the game itself. It's more of a port. Right. If I say that something is a port, do you understand what that means?
It's a doorway. No, I have no idea. That's what a port is to me.
It's also wine. If we're talking about vintage, port.
Oh, yeah, of course.
When they say in video games that it's ported to another system, it's a translation from one system to another. The game was originally developed for the Nintendo 64, and it got ported.
So it's kind of like transcribing.
Exactly. Some companies have like engines that automatically will do those things, but you still have to make sure that it does it correctly. But that is what's referred to as a port.
Okay.
So it's essentially a port to the PlayStation 5 from the Nintendo 64, or one of those versions in between. And it has this might not get me any love from the outlet having me review this, but it has been ranked 2025's 8th worst game.
Times have changed.
Times have changed.
And people expect different things.
It's like a telephone. If I were to take myself back, a dial phone now, it's got some nostalgia to it. It is vintage, but it's not the same experience.
No.
And now it's a different time frame. When it was released for the Nintendo 64, it got relatively mediocre positive reviews. But then every system afterwards, it's not nearly as good as all these other games that have come out since.
Right.
And it has an interesting idea where you've got the glove and you've got the ball. And the ball is like a rubber bouncy ball. So you can do things as far as throwing it or rolling on it or bouncing it. But then what you can do is you can change it into other balls. Like you can change it into a bowling ball or a crystal ball or other things that allow you...
A medicine ball.
Well,
that you can toss your enemy.
Well, but that's the bowling ball. The bowling ball is
true.
what, yeah.
That's true.
And so you don't really, you can't use the bouncy ball with the enemies. You've got to use the bowling ball. Like I said, it's got some interesting game mechanics in that area. When you're moving the ball, you kind of cup it with your hand, but then you switch and you can walk on the ball if you've got to go across water or whatever. But the weird thing is, when you go across the water, you're not going forward, you're going backwards. So it's kind of confusing at first. It's like when I want to go forward, I need to go the opposite direction. It's like, I get it, but I don't get it.
Yeah,
right?
I don't get it, but that's okay. I haven't looked at it.
Like I said, it's got some interesting ideas. Like any other platformer, it's got different worlds. It's got a boss fight at the end of each world. There are 3 different levels that you play through, one which is a hidden bonus kind of level. You got some minor puzzle solving stuff that you've got to do. you're collecting these little figments and you got to collect all of them to get to the end. The thing with vintage is if you want to remember how something was or experience the way it was, using vintage items or using things that are old is a way to get in touch with that feeling. But that doesn't spell fun.
Has fun changed in 30 years?
Of course.
Of course, yes.
Well, the ways in which we have fun.
The ways in which people interpret.
Yeah, I think that's right.
It could not be fun for some people because it's old.
Movies are the same way. Some people they look at the movie and they say, that's old.
Yeah.
Right. And there are countless movies like that. The example I always use is Clash of the Titans. We would always want to see, it's like, oh yeah, and this was 4 or 5 years after it was released. We're like, oh yeah, let's watch Clash of the Titans, and then we watch it. Ugh.
Yeah.
This is bad.
That's happened a few times to me.
Yeah. And I think that's what this suffers from here. If someone played this before and wants to experience that wonder again from when they were a child, that's a valid reason to play this game. But there are better platformers out there you can play. I would say recommended for someone who wants to relive the experience of playing a Nintendo 64 game back in the day and maybe be annoyed because things are so much better now.
That would be millennials? I think so.
Would
some,
it be?
Some
I would say,
Xers too.
Millennials and later Xers. Zennials, that whole little thing in the middle.
Zennials, yeah, right.
Yeah, with the X, not with the Z, because those people are Zoomers.
Yes.
Wicked grin that doesn't translate. Anyway, that was my experience with Glover. Not for me, maybe for some people. Well, now that we get that all wrapped up, let's get into the word this week.
Okie dokie.
What do you think?
You're going to read definitions, but I looked it up and it was surprising. It said it was anything in the past from 20 to 99 years old.
Yeah.
And I thought 20 was like, that's vintage? Wait a minute. I was just getting a drink of water that day. I mean, it's so close for us old people.
Right. Yeah.
But also it stressed quality. To me, that's opinion.
Yeah. We'll talk about it. We'll discuss.
Okie doke.
According to Oxford Languages, everyone's favorite Ox vintage, a noun and an adjective. Start with the nouns. The year or place in which wine, especially wine of a high quality, was produced. A wine of high quality made from a crop of a single identified district in a good year. Harvesting of grapes for winemaking. The grapes or wine produced in a particular season. This is all wine stuff.
Yeah, I remember.
And then we've got the time that something of quality was produced. So the example, rifles of various sizes and vintages.
Yeah.
Rifles.
Right.
Something that you being from Indiana. No, never.
Yeah, right. Let's go down to the fairgrounds and buy some rifles.
Yeah. We could do that.
By the way, I'm from Illinois now, and it's much more progressive.
Okay. Okay.
Just saying.
I mean, for the record, you gotta be
exactly.
clear. I am no longer from Indiana. So the adjective vintage relating to or denoting wine of a high quality, of course, denoting something of high quality, especially something from the past, or a characteristic of the best period of a person's work. A vintage Sherlock Holmes adventure. Interesting. The origin, late Middle English, alteration influenced by vintner,
right,
of earlier vendage. From Old French, vendage, from Latin.
Let me interrupt you.
Okay.
Vin, wine. Okay, that's all.
Okay. But
go on.
but this shows it as ven, vendage.
Right. If it goes back.
I mean, yeah, is that how they do? They don't do that in French. It's vino or that's Italian.
Vin. I mean, it came from what, Latin? So that's
that
the difference.
Sense. Yeah. Latin Venn
diagram. No.
Yeah, it's almost like that. Vendemmia, venum, vine, demere, demere. remove in the Google Ngram viewer, my favorite thing in the whole world.
Yes.
The use of vintage over time. You've got in the 1950s, it starts to climb and climb and climb and climb. And now in the 2019s, it is starting to taper a little bit. But I think that rise has to do with the hipsters.
You think so?
In part.
I think it has to do with the wine snobs.
Yeah, that makes sense. And anyone who's really into wines are talking about vintages and going to the vineyards.
The ones who take the classes.
Aren't you supposed to, when you do wine tasting, you're not supposed to drink it?
Correct.
You're supposed to like swish it.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever been to a wine tasting?
Yeah, sure.
Been to a vineyards and whatnot?
Yeah,
too?
yeah.
What are your thoughts on going to those places?
I like to drink it myself.
Okay, so you go there for the drinks.
I go there for the drinks, yeah.
Okay.
They used to be free. You'd go and you could try this one and this one, like 8 different wines.
Yeah.
Now they actually charge you, and you can only try 3 or 5 or something.
Right. So you can't go there and get totally lit, wasted. So the people that give you those things, are they sommeliers? Is it sommelier the person at the restaurant that represents?
Yeah.
Okay, so
well, they might be someplace else, but they're real experts, not just self-made experts.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Generally, I think of them at restaurants. They might have other things they do too.
Yeah. Because whenever I think wine, I think sommelier, and they make recommendations based on whatever.
Right.
The coffee world also they've got a sommelier equivalent where it's like, oh, this pairs really well with this thing, and this pairs really well with this thing. And
I taste raspberry bits in this.
Yeah. It's notes. They would say notes.
Right.
Then there was one that I saw on it. It gives you like the different notes or whatever.
Uh-huh.
And one of the ones that they described it as was roasty. And I'm like, it's coffee. Isn't all coffee roasty?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, that is strange.
So that is our definition of the word vintage.
Well, it didn't say the thing about 20 years to 99 years?
No, it did not say that in the Oxford Languages.
I think I was in Cambridge.
Let me see if Merriam or Webster.
Yeah, might have been that too.
Oh, a period of origin or manufacture, length of existence, age, they have for the nouns, and then dating from the past, old, of best or most characteristic, used with proper noun, adjectives, antique, retro, which is what we're going to cover at a later date, historic and historical. Bracelets and necklaces have the vintage look of jewelry from the 1920s is an example they give for the adjective. So when you saw that as far as giving you actual dates, which kind of equates to age, I would say.
Age of what?
Well,
the product?
The thing, right?
Okay,
the product, maybe
or the person.
Or the person, or the idea, or, I don't know.
Yeah.
So you think about vintage as it's different from retro. In what way? You said there was a date range that you saw.
There's that, but also I think of vintage as more formal.
Okay.
And I think of retro as more of a common idea. That's not exactly the right word, but it's not formal and quality necessarily. Vintage keeps mentioning quality.
Right.
And retro, avocado stoves and refrigerators, is that quality?
Well, especially in the name of like that game, right? The quality varies depending on what time frame you're in. Some things that worked better back in the day or produced a better result, like there are vintage things, objects that do things better, but there are also things that don't. And so quality is kind of immaterial. The way I think about it is more of an age and an object, as opposed to retro, which is more of an idea that is inspired by. So if something is retro, you can wear something from that time that's a vintage piece of clothing. The style would be retro, whereas the item itself is vintage.
Yeah,
so
that's how
that's how I think about it.
Right. I don't know if other people would agree with that.
No. It's just how I think about it. It's like,
it's a good thought.
It's comparing the thing to something that, something being retro is more about the style, and something about being vintage is more about what it actually is.
So an avocado-covered refrigerator.
Yeah.
Could that be vintage?
Yeah.
Okay. Definitely retro.
Using vintage things in your home, that would be retro. Not that fridge is retro. That fridge is vintage. But decorating your entire apartment with 1920s, whatever stuff, that's a retro look.
It should be, but people don't consider that retro.
Words, usage, we touch on this all the time here at the podcast. It's, literally. People use literally to mean figuratively. So therefore, now in the dictionary, that is given as one of the definitions of literally. Definitions do change over time. It's kind of an organic growth thing.
Yeah, definitely.
Whether it's right or not, it's
correct.
Like if you're conveying the idea, you're successful.
I guess, and that's.
I mean, just explain your perspective on what it means, and that's kind of like I'd said, vintage versus retro.
Yeah.
Do you have anything to add to that, or do you?
I don't know. To me, vintage has to be older than 20. I mean, because that was in one of the dictionaries. That was.
So I am vintage.
I'm antique. Well, no, not quite.
So there's a difference between vintage and antique. What is antique then?
I think it's 100 years and older.
Okay.
What that has to do with quality, I don't think it has anything to do with quality.
Nor does vintage, I don't think.
Well, but that's in the definition.
I know. That is a subject for debate, definitely.
Yeah.
Because in the definition it does say quality, but just because it's old doesn't mean that it's good.
This is awful. I'm trying to think of Antique Roadshow stuff. Okay.
Oh, okay.
I watch Antique Roadshow United Kingdom because it's so much fun when somebody says, hey, this is worth $50,000. And the guys go, oh, with no expression on their face.
Oh, yeah.
Whereas in America, they'd be jumping up and down and screaming. And I'm thinking of some of the stuff, like old toys, tin toys from the 20s, the 30s.
Yeah.
And some of the 20s one would be antique.
Right.
Vintage, quality. Not much quality. They're cheaply made.
I mean, just the fact that they lasted so long, maybe that's
because they were in somebody's closet in a box that they never took out.
Well, or they could be made of better materials.
Yeah, some are. Of course, some are.
Yeah.
Of course.
Not cheap plastic.
No, cheap tin.
Yeah, exactly. Aluminum.
Tin.
Or no, I'm sorry. It's the UK. Aluminium.
Oh, yeah, aluminium. Right.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. Interesting. Do you have any vintage? Are you a vintage clothing wearer?
No, I haven't purchased clothing. It all started with the COVID when stores shut down and everybody was buying online.
Right.
I don't like to, so I just wore my old clothes, and they were old clothes, let me tell you. And I don't know, are they vintage? I think some of them are 20 years old or older. But I only wear the ones that don't look like it's too old-fashioned, I think. Nobody's ever said.
You know what? That's an interesting point, too. People use, like, you've got Nirvana.
Yeah.
Right? And they've got the old Nirvana T-shirt design on a new T-shirt. So the design is vintage, but the T-shirt is new, and that makes it retro.
Oh, jeez. I don't know.
You made me think of that, because it was like people buy these designs that are old.
I'm thinking old musicians, old albums, all of that. I don't see them as either retro or vintage.
Okay.
I see them as just music from the past, and a lot of it carries through. Other people do takes on it. Other people do
covers.
To me, that music, all right, rock music is the same, has been the same for 75 years, but I don't think of it as retro. If you hear 60s music, you don't think of it as retro. I think of it as, hey, that's really good, but that's something else.
The written word, also, you don't think of it as vintage writing.
Correct.
Or art or like paintings. You don't think of it as necessarily as vintage paintings because it's just an expression, right? It's more of and maybe that's the same thing with music. And the thing that's different with games is there's an art form to it, but it's also playable. It's something that you use. It's something that you interact with.
Right.
And vintage film, I mean, film is maybe the same way, but you can play the films on a vintage equipment.
Yeah. And that's what it would be.
Yeah.
To me, it's like art.
That's a very astute observation from Aunt Nora.
I am definitely astute.
Astute. Yes. You're one of the many stutes out there. You're part of the stutes, but you are astute. Mm-hmm. Are you not interested in, well, I mean, you're interested in watching the show about people discovering that they've got these 50,000.
Yes, I am.
The emotions involved with, you've got something old that's worth a lot of money.
Yeah.
I guess that makes good television. But do you have any urge in owning any of this stuff? Because I never think about it.
I used to. But these days, I'm trying to get rid of a lot of stuff because eventually I'll be moving into a smaller place.
Yeah.
And I need to downsize. So I have gotten rid of a lot.
And you're talking about a coffin. No, that's
still in my closet. Okay. Along with the ashes of my husband, my mother, and my father. Yes, in my closet. Oh, sorry, everybody.
Right next to me, I've got my ashes of my two previous cats next to me.
True.
So it's
that's true.
And I've got them on my bookshelf, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
Showing everyone. So
well. So where were we? Why? Yeah, I used to collect. I thought it was so neat. When I first got married, I found a set of stemware that I just thought was so cool. And it was $20 for a set of like 30 pieces.
Yeah.
Now we're talking 1970, 1971. And so to me, that was expensive. And I think to the antique dealer, it was expensive. But it was like, oh, look at these cool etched whatever. And I keep them, and that's the one thing I still have.
Do you use them?
Yeah, sometimes, not too often, but sometimes.
So you use your special stemware
and people make remarks about them.
Of course.
Like, doesn't she have any new stuff? No, they don't.
Oh.
No.
Okay.
They go, oh, that is so cool. Yeah. I haven't seen these for,
Yeah, that's really neat. And it's like, you got antique cars. That's what I was thinking, too.
Oh, yeah.
Where people really get into owning the thing, whether or not it's functional or not.
Right. All the better if it is.
Yeah. But as far as my thoughts on games, I would personally love to own a vintage pinball machine.
Oh, yeah.
That would be something, though, that because it's so old, you'd have to work on it. You'd have to refurbish it a little bit. Replacement parts are probably problematic as far as getting those. But I mean, that would be a cool thing because it's part of my history.
Right.
But it's also vintage. I looked online. They consider vintage pinball machines anything 90s, 80s, 70s, all the way back, which fits into your definition of the 20 thing.
Right.
But I mean, all those things, they're well past having parts regularly available. So you've got to put some work into them. But I would do that more as a hobby.
Oh, yeah.
And and I appreciate pinball. So it's like, I would want to have like maybe a vintage pinball machine, but also a brand new one from like Stern, who's like one of the only companies out there that makes pinballs anymore. A Chicago company.
I like pinball.
Vintage as something that can be, I would say it's a hobby for some people and it's investment for others. And then, of course, you've got hipsters.
Yeah.
Which not as a negative term, just as what, people call hipsters, also known as people from Portland, kind of. There is an interesting thing where you think about the quality and there's an automatic sort of connection to doing it the old-fashioned way, and that was better. Yeah. Some people like to do it because they want to be different, or it's something where they genuinely think that it's a better way to do things. Who would ever want to churn their own butter? I have no idea,
no.
But
I'm thinking of education and doing things like writing, which is better because there's the tactile feeling that helps your brain take it in. There's visual, all that. You're thinking of other things.
Well, I mean, that's where my mind connects it. Just using that, maybe the philosophy of teaching is not vintage. It's just, maybe it's like art. It's a thing that we used to do back in the old days, but it doesn't mean that the thing is vintage necessarily.
Yeah, well, this is a whole show by itself because things have changed. The world has changed dramatically.
Yeah.
And a lot of teaching is the same as it always has been back to the end of the 19th century on up. A lot of teaching is the same. And there's computers and there's all that stuff. I was going
to say some of the equipment is also the same too,
However, you still are teaching the same way. You're getting your information a different way. Instead of writing things down, they're typing things out. But a lot of it is still the same. Something needs to be brought up to date other than technology.
Right. There needs to be, I mean, those things run in parallel. The technology or whatever the things are and the way you teach it effectively, those are two different things. Trying to teach it the same way that you did before with updated equipment is not the most effective way to teach necessarily. But then also you have the students, and those students absorb material differently. So teaching it is not effective for those people. And of course, there are like different people learn different ways, but we're just talking on average, right?
Right, on average.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's, of course, updating is important for pretty much any field.
Right. And everything's going to continue to change as snowball changes.
Right.
Technology. It's going to continue in the exponential speed.
I keep on going back to just because it's old doesn't mean it's better.
Some stuff is.
But not leeches.
No.
To
Nothing
cure
against
disease.
leeches, but to cure disease.
Yeah. Let's not use leeches. That was the old way. I'm not getting political, but I'm just saying like things like vaccines, right? Not using vaccines versus using vaccines now. That is also something where history has shown, if you're willing to look up the data, it's like anything else. It's like, does the benefit outweigh the negative? And most certainly does in a lot of cases for vaccines. And of course, there are edge cases where these things cause negative reactions with people, but that's that's every friggin' medication out there.
Right. Yeah, it's another show. Wait a minute.
That's basically the way our shows work. We get a whole bunch of other ideas about other words we want to talk about.
Of course, we're both writing them down so we won't forget.
No, we are not.
We are not.
We're just filing them away and hoping our brain at some point at a later date does that for us. So is there anything else that you think about vintage as far as, you don't think of ideas as vintage?
No, I don't. Somebody else might. I honestly think of clothes.
Books. The physical books, right?
Yeah. And China.
Country.
No, China, what you eat off of. Cooking utensils, stuff like that. Clothes is a big one.
Yeah. That's like kind of one of the first things that pops in my head.
Yeah.
Stores, vintage stores. There's a lot. There's antique and vintage stores.
Right, and that means people are interested enough for them to have store.
Do you think people buy vintage items more as an investment or more as a interest?
I mean, they're interested in it.
Okay,
that's my idea.
Like vintage typewriters. There's some actor out there who loves collecting vintage typewriters, and it's just a collection. But you can have two sides to it. You may be able to do it for investment purposes, but then also enjoy them, an enjoyable investment, or be curious about them.
I don't think about vintage as an investment, unless it's wine. Wine can be a big investment. But that's all my opinion. Other people have different opinions.
Yeah,
they're right. They're right as well as I am.
Right. But really, they're not.
No, they are. They are. And sometimes they help me understand.
That's what being an understanding and empathetic being does, is you do that.
You listen and
Yeah. I saw this interesting article on a Disney Parks blog. The name of the article, or the title of the article, is Disneyland 70th Nostalgic Bites Inspired by Vintage Foods.
Oh. Yeah.
What would vintage foods be?
A green Jell-O mold with vegetables.
Yeah, that's gross, but yeah, okay. Vintage.
But it's like from the 50s.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know. See, I'm thinking about using lard to make pie crusts, but a lot of people do that now because it makes better pie crusts.
Right.
Making impossible pies and cakes from the Depression.
Impossible.
Yeah. They make them with Ritz crackers, and it's supposed to be an apple pie. You put enough cinnamon and sugar in it.
Why is it called impossible?
Because it doesn't have apples in it.
Oh.
And it's supposed to be an apple pie.
Oh, it's an apple pie with Ritz crackers instead of apples?
I think something like that.
That's weird.
I know.
Interesting. Definitely vintage. I don't see many of those going out. Back in those days, if you had social media and you had all these people with doing all these strange ideas, that would definitely be one of them. Ritz crackers as an apple pie.
It's spread even without internet.
They've got a list of these foods. You didn't go to Disney World when you were, or did you go?
No, I went as an adult.
What was your experience like as an adult at Disney?
It was okay. I walked around and looked at stuff. The first time I was there, I went on a few rides, like Space Mountain.
Of course. Did you go to World or Land?
Both.
Both. Okay.
When I was at Land in Anaheim, we basically looked around a lot. Yeah. I don't think we went on any rides.
Okay.
But it was
you and your mother?
No, me and my second husband.
Okay.
He was fairly impressed with it. He was impressed with it so that we could take his nephew and niece.
Oh, okay.
It's like, yeah, Matthew would love this. But then the Disney World, it's bigger.
Yeah.
It has Epcot. The first time I went, it had Epcot and the Disney Kingdom, the Magic Kingdom.
Right.
Now it has,
7,000 different. Yeah.
First time we walked around the Magic Kingdom. Oh, isn't that wonderful? That was with my mother and my mother-in-law.
Okay.
And the second time I went on a conference, education.
Okay. Because nothing says education like Disney World.
I know. Well, yeah, New Orleans, that was another one.
It's like Hall of Presidents. Yeah.
But anyway, the second time, I loved Epcot because of all the foreign. I mean, you'd go to all these little sections and they were foreign. And I loved that.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I went to the Magic Kingdom.
I think I went once to each.
Okay.
I was out there with Bill and
Bill and
Dottie. There was an earthquake.
Nothing says California like.
Yep. And I remember when I woke up and then there was stuff all over. And it was just like, I slept through it. Surprise, surprise, right? I sleep through stuff.
Yeah.
We went to a number of places, but Disneyland was one of them. Mr. Toad's Wild Ride is my favorite ride and will always be my favorite ride because you go to hell.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
I didn't.
At the end, you get this blast of hot air.
Okay.
Because, immersive experience. What I was going to say about Disney World, though, the last time I went there, parents were getting divorced.
Oh.
So Dad took us to, I think it was Busch Gardens, and we went to Sanibel Island. And we did all sorts of stuff there. And then Mom took us to Disney World. When we went to Disney World, there was a little tram thing, a little monorail, but it was showing you the site of where they were going to build Epcot.
Oh,
so it wasn't quite, exactly. So it wasn't built yet.
Yeah.
And I think that was like early 80s or something.
And I went with my mother and mother-in-law in the 70s. So Epcot might not have been there.
No, it was built in the 80s. So.
Okay. And I was with the conference in the 80s, possibly the 90s.
Says vintage foods. So I'm guessing what they mean by vintage foods that were served at the park back in the old days and now are no longer.
Okay. So what are some?
Well, they have the Mickey hat cookie.
Okay.
which you can now find at the Jolly Holiday Bakery Cafe at Market House in Disneyland Park. Vintage-inspired flavors. Cookie dipped in chocolate with a chocolate decoration. Wow, these sound boring.
They do.
These cookies utilize a design reminiscent of the mouse ears hat made popular in Mickey Mouse Club television series in 1955.
Oh, yeah.
You might not be required to sing M-I-C-K-E-Y between bites, but we won't discourage it.
That doesn't sound vintage at all.
No, it just sounds like a cookie with chocolate on it. Let's see. The next one is a chili cheese corn dog.
Oh, yeah, you can't get that anywhere anymore.
Right. Find Corn Dog Castle in Disney California Adventure Park. Vintage-inspired flavors. Corn dog topped with chili, shredded cheese, and corn chips.
Oh, now that's different.
The corn chips?
Corn chips, yeah. But chili and all that stuff, you can get
chili
them
dog.
anywhere.
It's like, And dare I say, corn chips, not really. I mean, I've heard of people putting corn chips on chili dogs before.
I guess.
Fritos makes chili corn chips. So, I mean, the flavors kind of work Chili is a known favorite of Walt's, with one of his recipes preserved in the Walt Disney Archives dating to 1958. I didn't know Walt Disney had a chili recipe.
No, I didn't either.
They never talk about that. They talk about him being frozen somewhere in the park, but they never talk about his chili recipe.
Yeah. Harry Truman had a chili. Well, I don't know if it was a recipe, but a favorite chili.
Okay.
He probably did have the recipe too. That I've heard, but Disney? No.
We should have a sanctioned Truman Disney chili cook-off.
Yeah.
Over the years, Disney chefs have refined the recipe and continue to serve Walt's chili for park guests around the world. This chili corn dog is the perfect vehicle for a heaping helping of Walt Disney home-style favorite.
How does it stay on the corn dog? I mean, I can understand a hot dog.
Oh, but it's not a corn.
Bun.
It's called a corn dog because it's got the corn chips on it.
Jeez.
It's just a normal. See, look, it's just a normal chili dog.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
hot dog and chili. So
I'm imagining what we think of as a corn dog with chili dripping off of it.
Right. Exactly. Ooh, this one looks good. It's the WED chili cheese baked potato, again with the chili at Troubadour Tavern at Disneyland Park. Vintage-inspired flavors. Baked potato topped with beef and bean chili, cheese, sour cream, diced onions, and cornbread.
You're making me sick.
Sorry. Let me see if I can find something a little bit better.
Find some Jell-O.
There's a lemon chiffon pretzel.
What? I was hoping you were going to say pie.
No, it's a lemon chiffon pretzel. Find at Pretzels Near Star Tours. The adventures continue. Vintage-inspired flavors, cream cheese-filled pretzel dipped in a lemon-flavored icing topped with crushed vanilla wafer.
I guess.
That's what I say, too.
If somebody gave me one, I'd eat it or try it and eat it, yeah.
Well, this is where you have a similarity with Walt Disney because Walt famously loved pie.
Ah.
And one slice of choice was lemon chiffon pie with a graham cracker crust. Today, take in Tomorrowland's futuristic views while pulling. There's no futuristic views there.
Talk about retro there. I mean, when Tomorrowland first started, they didn't even go to the moon yet.
Right.
It started in 57 or something. Yeah.
Let's see what else here. The last. We'll just do one more here.
I mean, because
I'm getting sick.
Yeah.
We got the fried tamale walking taco.
Oh, yeah, that'll do it. Yeah. Thank you.
We got the mocha cream puff. We got
that's okay.
Tropical rum cocktail, grilled Tahitian ribs. Grilled Tahitian ribs.
Yeah, I'm off red meat, so.
We got beef stroganoff. We got banana split. We've got banana split churro. Party like it's 1955. Oh, here we go. Hook's Gallery tuna melt. There's that. Do you like tuna melts?
Yes. Yeah, I do.
I do too. At the Red Rose Tavern at Disneyland Park. The fresh tuna salad topped with Munster cheese and herb marinated tomatoes, served with house chips. In August 1955, shortly after Disneyland opened, the Chicken of the Sea pirate ship and restaurant in Fantasyland offered tuna sandwiches. Sponsored by Chicken of the Sea, I guess.
Say, Chicken of the Sea pirate ship. I would think they would get hassled a lot if there was a pirate ship named Chicken of the Sea.
Yeah, it doesn't sound very piratey, does it?
Rough, tough.
What sort of other animal would it be other than Chicken of the Sea? I never understood that brand either. It's like, it's like there are chickens everywhere on land, but what's the chicken equivalent? Maybe it's tuna.
Maybe it is. Maybe that's it.
That is the Chicken of the Sea. It's like chicken, except it's fish.
Yeah, right.
Would you like to be in that pitch room there? It's like, let's come up. We got to come up with some of those. Like, it's not like your fancy steak and stuff, like your big times. It's tuna. It's pretty. Yeah. Anyway, guests could enjoy both photo opportunities at the ship's wheel and sandwich opportunities.
Tuna
inside,
teas? Okay.
Yeah. Inside, Chicken of the Sea pirate ship and restaurant became Captain Hook's Gallery in 1969 and later closed in 1982 to no one's dismay.
Yeah, right.
Today you can savor your own swashbuckling dreams and this delicious take on the classic sandwich. I don't think these aren't vintage foods.
No, not at all. I don't think any of them are.
You got cowboy fries, apparently made with real cowboys.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was going to say.
Yeah. What is vintage and what is not vintage? To close this out, what are your thoughts? Because this is...
a lot of it is people's opinion.
Yeah, of course. Because I don't think this is vintage foods.
No, not at all.
Yeah, these are just foods.
The green Jell-O mold, now that's...
What about mincemeat?
I love mincemeat. Leave me alone.
Listen. I'm not making any judgments because I like mincemeat pie too.
I make mincemeat every Christmas. Mincemeat pie. I buy the mincemeat pre-made. Okay. And no, it doesn't have beef in it anymore.
Right. Suet.
You can get suet. Sometimes you can get it without suet. I do it every year. That's what I grew up with, mincemeat at Christmas.
Yeah, me too.
Mincemeat
thanks
pie.
to your mother.
Yeah.
And it's like I was always, as a naive child, I always thought that she slaved over a hot stove and oven making this mincemeat pie.
Right.
Not realizing that those stenciled cookies were also on the pumpkin pies.
Oh, yes. Yes.
It was obviously store-bought.
Well, no, she made her mincemeat pies.
Oh, did she?
Yeah. Like me, she probably made her own before.
Right.
But you buy those, None Such was a brand, None Such mincemeat, that comes out occasionally now, not all the time.
Yeah.
And you just, it's ready to go into the pie. There was another one that was a condensed, like a little hard chunk of mincemeat, and you mix it up with stuff. You can still get them from England.
Right.
I have a couple of those from World Market.
So mincemeat is a vintage food, is it not?
In America more.
In America.
In the U.S. I don't know about the other Americas. But, there's a lot of them, you know.
Two?
Well, but if we count individual countries.
Individual countries don't exist anymore anyway.
Yeah, never mind.
Let's not. You know, what Disney said with those, I don't think of those as vintage foods, but there's something to be said for Spam. Like Spam.
Well, for us, but there are people in the world who still gladly eat it.
Yeah. And then there's also there are Spam delicacies in Hawaii, I think, that people really like the Spam there. Like, if I think of vintage foods, it's not just foods from my childhood, it's foods that people just don't use anymore. Right. You said like with lard. I mean, people do use lard and stuff.
Especially for pie crust.
Yeah. But, that is kind of an old, tiny kind of thing. So, yeah. Well, I mean, I talked briefly about pinball machines, but it's like, I think we front-loaded this episode with the video game talk about Glover. But that's the thing I wanted to talk about with that is it's different with something like a game or something that you play for fun. That's a different thing than, of course, it's not always going to translate. There are games that I play that are from back in the day, like arcade games, right? The mechanics aren't super complex, but they're fun to play. I still enjoy playing them now. And it's a vintage sort of like, arcade cabinets, right? Old arcade cabinets. The feeling is there. It's still fun. Things do have an expiration date.
Speaking of games, my mom bought us, I was married, but she bought us a Pong game. Would that be vintage?
Oh, gosh, yeah.
Yeah.
The unit, that's definitely.
Right. That's what, I mean, I don't even know if you can play it anywhere.
Yeah, you probably can't unless you have one of those UHF, VHF, the things for the television connected up. But that was that was the predecessor or one of the predecessors to Atari 2600. It's like that's what I remember, and Pong and Odyssey and these other old systems that were Pong-like. I remember on I forget which Odyssey it was, but there was a game with transparencies that they would put on the screen, and the static would pull it on. So it's like, it's got graphics. Check it out. And you put the transparency up there, and it'd be like, hey, we're playing soccer. It's green.
Okay.
And it's like, yeah, that was the big. But then Atari is what made the home market start to explode. And any of those systems, I think the AI in Google classifies any system that is Super Nintendo and previous is sort of a vintage.
Yeah.
Anything 6th generation, not that I have all the generations memorized, or certainly do not, like your 8-bit, 16-bit, like that kind of thing, and previous to that. So yeah, that's vintage. Pong is vintage.
Yeah.
Vectrex is vintage.
Oregon Trail.
Yeah, I would say that's vintage.
I don't know. You have mentioned it
Yes,
in the past.
yes. You have died of dysentery.
Yeah, right.
That's the favorite thing.
Do we eat her or not?
No, no, we're not going to eat Aunt Nora.
I don't have dysentery. I have some other.
It was either that or cholera.
Yeah.
I don't know. Something. Nora, thank you for coming all this way to Arizona.
This is what I came for.
Just to record.
Exactly.
And give my cat love.
Oh, and she was I thought she was going to interrupt the podcast.
Yes.
I'm sorry. My cats were always she.
You know what? That's an interesting, I think that's a generational deal. It's not only that too, but everyone seems to call
cats are she,
cats are she's,
he.
dogs are he's. And
just like French.
Maybe that's where it comes from, the foreign language kind of like gendered nouns, right?
Yeah.
And he's sleeping in his nice little cat
brand
tree.
new little. Yeah, he looks so peaceful.
Yeah. I was a little concerned that he wouldn't use the tube, but my goodness.
Yeah, that seems to be his favorite right now.
Yeah, he really does like it, and I'm going to wake him up.
Podcast.
Anyway.
Podcast speaks. Okay.
Yep. Thank you, Nora, for joining us on this week's episode of the Too Vague Podcast.
It was a pleasure.
Excellent. And thank you, audience, for joining us on this week's episode of the Too Vague Podcast, which I said previously to Nora, but that's okay.
He can edit it.
I could, but I'm not going to. Because I like to be difficult whenever my aunt is around.
Yes.
So anyway, thank you, audience, and we've been your hosts. Have a wonderful night. Bye.
Bye.